Good evening, one and all. We welcome you to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, UN Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, awareness as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute and Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. So before we start our today's session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue to today's session. We welcome you all once again. As we all know, we are commemorating international days. So let's quickly look on to the various important days being commemorated today, which are contributing to the sustainable development across the world. Yeah, today we have important events. Let's start from our own nations. One of the famous, philanthropist, educationalist, and also social worker and social reformer, who is none other than Raja Bahadur Venkatram Reddy. Today is his birthday, though he is no more, but the kind of initiatives he has taken has made him remember forever with his additions and contribution to the society. Raj Bahadur Venkatrama Reddy, born in a peasant family in Mahbub Nagar district of Andhra Pradesh, elevated from police sub-inspector Amin level to Kotwal of Police, Commissioner of Police, Hyderabad, the second most powerful officer in those days, next to PM, that is next to Prime Minister in those days, in the year 1920. So he served as a Kotwal of Police, Hyderabad, for about 14 years during Nizam's regime. So he was the, no, he was next to the Prime Minister level in those days, and he was occupying the most prominent position, that is Commissioner of Police for Hyderabad. Hyderabad was independent state in those days under Nizam. So like they all were like independent nations within the nation at no, in those days. So he was occupying a very prominent position at that time. So he tackled communal problems efficiently and maintained communal harmony among different religions like Muslims, Christians, and Hindus, and people in different linguistic backgrounds like Kannadigas, Maharashtrians, etc. In those days, while Nizams were ruling the nation, I mean the Hyderabad province, most of these administrative posts were only given to the Muslim population. But he is the first person who is a non-Muslim who got such a highest rank and occupying the highest, position as well as a rank in Nizam's rule. So he was an ideal officer regarded by Muslims as well as Hindus. He was a very strong man, silent but observant, modest in manners and calm. He was great visionary and encouraged cooperative movement. His messages are mainly for banning of liquors and encouragement of girl education and establishment of schools for girls in rural areas. He was a doyen among social reformers and educationalists of the day. He strongly fought against untouchability and helped financially many SC hostels in Hyderabad. He established many schools, including one girls' high school at Narayanguda. A women's college is also established at Narayanguda, Hyderabad, in the name of Raj Bahadur. Universities are conducting memorial lectures every year in the memory of Raj Bahadur. Established two hostels, that is one for boys and one for girls students, in the year 1918 and 1933 respectively, for the benefit of those who come from rural areas to Hyderabad to pursue their studies. Accommodation and boarding is being provided to the students in these two hostels irrespective of caste creed at affordable cost. He was also the president of Krishna Devaraya Andhra Bhasha Nilayam. Apart from police job, he was entrusted with about 31 other responsibility during the Nizam's regime. Some of them were member of legislature from 1934 to 1940, examiner of municipal judiciary and revenue officers, member of city improvement board, member of committee for prevention of plague, member of agriculture development society, chairman of the commission of inquiry into indebtedness of Sahibjad, member of advisory committee on Sarfakas, chairman of the reception committee for the visit of Prince of Wales, member of organizing committee of Silver Jubilee of the Nizam. So in recognition of his functional efficiency, the Nizam awarded him the title of Raj Bahadur. and he managed the arrangements for the state visits of Prince Edward and Prince of Wales in 1931 and the Viceroy Lord Reading during the same period. His services were also recognized by Sir George British Empire with the title Order of the British Empire, in short known as OBE, during the year 1931. So AP Police Academy has been renamed as Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy AP Police Academy, Wide Government of AP Home, PSC Department, GO number 83, dated 14/3/2013, in recognition of the exemplary services rendered by Raj Bahadur as erstwhile Kotwal Commissioner of Police of Hyderabad State. So, Government of AP Home, WNT Department, Wide GO, RT number 1341, dated 1/6/2013, have instituted the award of late Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy Gold Medal and cash award of rupees 5,000 to award outgoing probationary deputy superintendent of police in every batch who has shown best all-round performance in the induction training program being conducted by RBVRR AP Police Academy, Himayat Sagar, Hyderabad, further directly recruited. The statue of Raj Bahadur has been installed on 30/10/2013 by AP government at RBVRR AP Police Academy in recognition of Raj Bahadur's services to the police department, which was unveiled by His Excellency the Governor of Andhra Pradesh, Sri then Sri ESL Narasimha. So he started various societies. The Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy Educational Society was established in the year 1918 by a great visionary, late Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy, the then Commissioner of Police during the days of Nizam of Hyderabad. The Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy Hostel has completed over 98 years, almost it has completed over century of its existence. As a mark of its glorious service to the society, the board management of the Educational Society celebrated century on occasion for the institution to rededicate itself for the growth of hostel as well as the education of social relevance. The society is also planning to celebrate every year various commemorations on late Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy, and also they recently celebrated centenary celebrations in the year 2018. The, this hostel has produced several engineers, doctors, advocates, great administrators, besides men of many other professions. Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao, former Prime Minister of India, Sri B. Satyanarayan Reddy, former Governor of Uttar Pradesh and Orissa, late Dr. M. Chenna Reddy, former Governor of Tamil Nadu, late Professor G. Ram Reddy, Chairman UGC, and Justice A. Sita Ram Reddy, former Lokayukta, are some of the great personalities who were the boarders of this hostel when they were students. This is just a fraction of list, and the list goes on and on. There are many IPS and IAS officers who were the boarders of this hostel. We can see the institution has the greatest alumni who are administrators, reformers, bureaucrats, industrialists, scientists who are now contributing across the world to the development. So such a great opportunity today we have commemorating his birthday, and the Education Society has empowered especially girls and women to a large extent, even in the at the times of pre-independence and at the times of Nizam rule in Hyderabad. So let's briefly look at the facilities available. Uh, this is little bit older one. Nowadays, I mean, recent times may have got better facilities. So RBVR Reddy's Boys Hostel today. I mean, this may not be the latest one because a lot of things have changed in the centenary celebrations. Uh, so approximately over 178 rooms were there, which accommodated 500 boys. In addition, it has several other buildings for administration, library, dining hall, etc. The library of the hostel has more than 60,000 volumes on its racks. This makes it one of the largest libraries. The library has excellent up-to-date books on engineering, technology, medicine, and the library has also a big reading room. We get a large number of daily newspapers, weeklies, and monthly magazines. This library gets latest up-to-date books also for the benefit of the readers. Along with education for boys, the need for establishing a hostel for girls also was felt by Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy, and a girls' hostel was started in the year 1933. Today, the girls' hostel accommodates about 350 girls. These two institutions are the premier institutions in the city of Hyderabad, catering needs of the students coming from rural areas. You know, these uh, institutions are very much popular as Hyderabad. And, you know, not only from the poor, but the elite, the quality and quantity of this institution is very well known in the city and in the educational fraternity. So these institutions are the premier institutions in the city. These hostels are run on no profit, no loss basis, and the fees charged compared to other hostels is very low and made easily accessible to the students coming from rural areas. Actually, it's a cost to cost basis. No profits are earned on this. Only for the maintenance, whatever the basic maintenance is there, that is charged only for the sustainability, and that is also very minimal. And RBVRR Model High School, William Konda District, Mehboob Nagar, was also established in the year 1995-96 in the area of 32 acres with the main objective of providing quality education to the rural poor students at an affordable cost. So here also fees charged is very low compared to any residential school in the state, or for that matter, even outside also. Every possible care is being taken to maintain high academic standards. Now it is very well known for its quality and quantity and the of education and the number of programs offered. The RPBR Reddy Educational Society has established MCA College in the year 2002 and 3 and MBA course for the academic year 2004 and 5 in the boys hostel premises. Now, there is a lot of pressure for accommodation. The society is also planning to extend its hostels to meet the growing demand in the outskirts of the city. Responding to request, the Honorable Chief Minister of the Government of Telangana recently allotting 10 acres of government land and rupees 10 crores for construction of hostels in the outskirts of the city. Now, Vocational Training Institute, Ramachandrapuram Village, Kondur Mandal, Mehboob Nagar District, with the help of Swami Ramananda Tirtha Institute of Rural Development, the society has been running training programs in tailoring, embroidery, and motor vehicle driving. The trained women of the school are able to run their own tailoring units as professionals and stand on their own feet, achieving socio-economic stability, empowerment. Heavy vehicle driving programs of 30 days duration imparted to the unemployed rural youth society is keen on running more vocational courses and approached the Swami Ramananda Tirtha Institute for sanction of additional courses for the benefit of rural women and youth. Response is still awaited, but continuously they are keeping on adding more and more courses as per the demand. And the society extends free ships, half free ships, and scholarships valued over rupees 30 to 35 lakhs every year from the interest accrued on the corpus front, built up over years with the donations of philanthropists as well as the rental income of the society. So the society not only provides free education and a 50% discount and also various scholarships for the students based on their socio-economic status. Uh, they offer a lot of scholarships and free education or discounted education. Even the education cost is very low here. There is a huge competition for that matter to get a seat in that because of the quality and the repute of the institution, and fees are also being very low here. The society uh, has also corpus fund, and the interest end from the corpus fund, and the basic maintenance charges and the low fees that is being charged put together is used for maintenance, overall maintenance, and also to provide scholarships, fellowships, and free education and services to the stakeholders. An integrated development plan of Rayanapeta village, birthplace of Raj Bahadur, the society has commissioned and got prepared an integrated development plan of Rayanapet village under Grama Jyoti scheme. This envisages an outlay of rupees 2.33 crores over 5 period. The society, having adopted the village, plans to raise funds from government agencies, MP lads, philanthropists, and other funding agencies. So this is in brief about you know Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy Educational Society. And there are various committees to overlook the administration. Let's briefly look at the uh, uh, women's empowerment, especially with this educational society. Raj Bahadur Venkat Ram Reddy Women's College, Narayanguda, Hyderabad, was established in the year 1954 by the Hyderabad Mahila Vidya Sangam. The college has the history and rare privilege of having the presence of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Srimati Indira Gandhi, Dr. ABJ Abdul Kalam as dignitaries at different functions organized by the college. The main objective of the institution is to promote quality education among women hailing from the backward regions of the state. In consonance with this objective, 60% of the seats at the undergraduate level are reserved for the girl students hailing from rural areas. As a positive step in this direction, the college provides hostel facility in the campus. Several innovative programs are offered periodically through a menu of subjects introduced at UG level, value additional certificate course, highly qualified and committed faculty, state of arts infrastructure. The college is an autonomous and a partially grant in aid institution affiliated to Usmania University, Hyderabad. It is centrally located in the city on a campus comprising of 3.5-acre plot with 5 buildings. There are 48 classrooms, 29 science labs, and 13 staff rooms. And the college libraries have about 1 lakh volumes. The college has an audio-visual room, a spacious auditorium, and an open-air theatre. The foundation stone for the college was laid by late Sri Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India. The visit of the then President of India, His Excellency Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam on 5th August 2005 to deliver the Golden Jubilee valedictory address is yet another landmark. The UGC conferred autonomous status on the college in 1989. It was the first non-minority college to have an autonomous status under Usmania University jurisdiction. The college was accredited with grade A by NAC in October 2005. The college has made innovations in curriculum designing with a view to contribute to the nation development, foster global competence, inculcate a value system, promote use of information technology, quest for excellence. The college has 20 departments for UG programs, 5 in arts, 12 in science, 1 in commerce, 1 in business management, 1 in physical education. There are 4 departments at PG level and 3 in science and 1 in management. The college offers 31 programs, among which 4 programs are at UG level, 4 programs at PG level are run on self-financing basis. There are 22 certificate courses. The faculty consists of 29 government-aided teachers, 77 unaided teachers, among them who are 20 with PhD degrees, 4 with MPhil degrees, and 2 with MTech degrees, and so on. The list may be a little bit outdated. The college has 76 non-teaching and support staff, among them 26 receive government aid. The student enrollment is about 20, in 2000 with 800 students in science, 200 students in arts, 800 in commerce at undergraduate level, and 200 in PG program. The college has NCC and NSS units. The sports activities are conducted under the supervision of a physical directors. The college encourages meritorious students by awarding gold medals, merit scholarships, rolling shields, and cash prizes. The visit of President of India, His Excellency Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam on 5th August 2005 to deliver the Golden Jubilee valedictory address is yet another landmark. So with this short introduction, it is being contributing a lot to the women empowerment. Even Hyderabad Mahila Vidya Sangam, in short HMVS, was a registered non-profit educational society in the year 1954 with the sole aim of endeavoring for social, cultural, and advancement of women, with active support and inspirational guidance from the successive governing council members and the office bearers. Life members has today grown into a mighty banyan tree, spreading its tentacles in the fields of pharmacy, biotechnology, food and nutrition, forensic science, microbiology, journalism, BBM, BBA, MBA, and computer science to equip women to become economically independent. Today, HMVS is engaged in providing primary, secondary, and higher education and hostel facility to the women under its several units like Madapati Hanumantarao Girls High School, RBVRR Women's College, RBVRR Women's College of Pharmacy, KV Rangareddy Girls Hostel. So Madapati Hanumantarao Girls High School, Narayanguda, which is named after renowned personality Madapati Hanumantarao Pantulu, in recognition of his human services rendered to the institution in cause of empowerment of women, is engaged in providing primary and secondary education. RBVRR Women's College, Narayanguda, was started in the year 1954. The foundation stone of the college building was laid by the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India, in the year 1954. The building was inaugurated by then Vice President of India, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, philosopher, statesman in the year 1955. The college is named after Raj Bahadur Venkat Ram Reddy, former Commissioner of Police in the erstwhile Hyderabad state under the regimen of Nizam as a benefiting honor and a tribute for the human services in the causes of women's education. The successful managements have been rightly recognizing the need for a new approach of education and has been introducing several courses, including short-term and certificate courses, which are relevant to the present-day needs of the society in various fields. Today, as many as 14 courses at UG and PG level, and also short-term certificate courses are being conducted successfully. And the college also has a very good collaboration with various organizations, institutions. And he is also one of the he's also one of the rare officials who got involved in social work. He persuaded the Reddy community to get educated and take up government jobs to facilitate their stay in Hyderabad. He established the Reddy Hostel through donations raised from Rajas and leading landlords and businessmen. He also established the Reddy's Women's School. He also established a number of other educational and philanthropic institutions, as already discussed. As a member of state legislature, he supported the bills for the eradication of child marriage and for widow remarriage. And a little bit about, his last days. When Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy passed away in 1953, he was just left with only 30 rupees in cash on his person. You know, in those days, his first wife died a few months after the birth of his son Rangareddy. His second wife has already two children. The daughter Narsimha was married to a contractor who built Pathargatti, which is now also you can see. The son Lakshma Reddy did bar at law, married two English ladies, one after the other, became the judge of the High Court. He had three sons and a daughter who are no more. And his own son became commissioner of excise and because of the job was known as Akbari Rangareddy. A bachelor, he adopted Madhusudan Reddy as his son. He is the sole surviving descendant of the last and great Kotwal of the city. A statue of Venkatram Reddy stands in the circle opposite to YMCA at Narayanguda. He had given the institution the land, and the government of Telangana state has given go for renaming the Andhra Pradesh Police Academy Hyderabad to Raj Bahadur Venkatram Reddy, Telangana State Police Academy, Hyderabad. So this society was very crucial in those days, since those days, to provide primary, secondary, higher education and also various skill development courses and empowerment of especially women and rural population. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration for the day, and then we will move on to next commemoration, that is International Day commemorating the victims of acts of violence based on the religion. You know, across the world, discrimination prevails and violence prevails based on the religion or belief system. So let's look briefly into various aspects of this issue. Human rights related to freedom of religion or belief. So freedom of religion or belief, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to peaceful assembly, and the right to freedom of association are interdependent, interrelated, and mutually reinforcing. They are enshrined in the Articles 18, 19, and 20 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Upholding these rights plays an important role in the fight against all forms of intolerance and discrimination based on religion or belief. The open, constructive, and respectful debates of ideas, as well as interreligious, interfaith, and intercultural dialogue at the local, national, regional, and international levels can play a positive role in combating religious hatred, incitement, and violence. Furthermore, the exercise of the right to freedom of opinion and expression and full respect for the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information can play a positive role in strengthening democracy and combating religious intolerance. So based on uh, acts of violence based on religion or belief, when we see these are continuing acts of intolerance and violence based on religion or belief against individuals, including against persons belonging to religious communities and religious minorities around the world. And the number and intensity of such incidents, which are often of a criminal nature and may have international characteristics, are increasing across the world. See, across the world, the populations, there are different population, density of population based on the uh, typography, demographic of nations across the world. If you see, nations, if we take our own country, the majority and the minority groups, similar way in the other countries also. If we consider, the kind of population, you can see the majority of the population when we see on a regional religious basis, the majority of them are belonging to Christianity. So, and the next highest population as per the statistics is people belonging to Islam. And the next category that falls, uh, is Hinduism. And across the globe, if we see, Hindus are minority in most of the nations. If we see, except in India, across the world, Hindus are minorities only. And there is a lot of discrimination also. Even if we can see the next neighboring countries also, they are being abused. They are being, you know, uh, not provided the freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of practicing their own religion and their own practices. When we see globally, this is the statistics provided by the respective UN agencies and others. And when we look at, because we need to talk globally, this is an international platform. See, maybe in one or other place, one community may be large, but we need to talk globally, who are minority communities and who are majority communities. If we see, as per the statistics available, the majority community here are Christians and the Muslims across the nations. There are we can see many countries which are completely officially Christian countries and officially Islam countries, but we cannot see even one single Hindu country, or for that matter one Jain country, or for that matter one Buddhist country. You know, you can see, imagine the kind of the violence or abuse that is being caused to the minority groups now, uh, especially they sometimes even don't have a word to say, they don't have the freedom to express, and they don't have you know the freedom to practice or their own religion or their own belief systems, being minority. A lot of atrocities are committed across the globe on these minorities, and these change from nation to nation, of course. Like most of the nations, as already mentioned, you know India is very different because India doesn't have any official religion. All religions are treated equal, and all citizens are free to follow any religion of their interest, or as they have imbibed through their own family system. So there is a complete freedom in our country. But if we see other countries where Islamic countries or Christian countries, or for that matter, these two are extremely large. I mean, in numbers. So there, in some countries they are very orthodox. In some countries there is a little bit freedom of exercising their own, freedom of speech and expression, freedom and rights to choose their own religion and practice belief systems, and their own belief system, follow to own belief system. In some countries, there is a very limited scope, which is allowed in only in private. I mean, they are not supposed to do it in public, or do prayers in public, or perform gatherings or associations in public. uh, but in some countries, only very limited occasions it is given. So here, it's not about one particular religion or one particular belief system. The majorities of the world, how they are exercising, what kind of freedom they are giving, and why United Nations has to dedicate a day for this exclusively, for to address these acts of violence based on religion or belief. If you see internationally, the majority of the population is somehow not following the secular system, or the tolerance towards the minority religions. This is widely visible across the world. That is why we are having this day particularly dedicated, and also a body of UN, you know, which is working towards reducing these acts of violence based on religion or beliefs. If we see the basic, the history, there are continuing acts of intolerance and violence based on religion or belief against individuals, including against persons belonging to religious communities and religious minorities around the world. And the number and intensity of such incidents, which are often of a criminal nature and may have international characteristics, are increasing. So that is why the General Assembly adopted the resolution titled International Day commemorating the victims of acts of violence based on religion or belief, strongly condemning continuing violence and acts of terrorism targeting individuals, including persons belonging to religious minorities, on the basis or in the name of religion or belief. The member states reaffirmed their unequivocal condemnation of all acts, methods, and practices of terrorism and violent extremism conducive to terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, whether, wherever, by whomsoever committed, regardless of their motivation, and reiterated that terrorism and violent terrorism as extremes and when conducive to terrorism in all its forms and manifestations cannot and should not be associated with any religion, nationality, civilization, or ethnic group. The General Assembly dedicated to designate 22nd as the International Day commemorating the victims of acts of violence based on religion or belief. So this day comes right after Day of Remembrance and a tribute of victims of terrorism on 21st August. Yesterday, we have commemorated these events. You know, all our conference themes are based on these international events, and we invite, you know, our fraternity members, our family members in various academics, practice, profession to come and discuss on various trends that are happening so that we can learn about past trends and future, you know, where this direction is leading towards to, and also the magnitude of problems at present. So this, you know, the General Assembly in its resolution 73 by 296 designated 22nd as the International Day commemorating victims of acts and violence based on religion or belief, recognizing the importance of providing victims of acts of violence based on religion or belief and members of their families with appropriate support and assistance in accordance with applicable law. It strongly deplored all acts of violence against persons on the basis of religion or belief, as well as such acts directed against their homes, businesses, properties, schools, cultural centers, or places of worship, as well as all attacks on in religious places, sites, and shrines that are in violation of the international law. A previous resolution establishing the International Day of Remembrance of and tribute to the victims of terrorism also recognized that working together to enhance the implementation of existing legal regimes that protect individuals against discrimination and hate crimes, increasing interreligious, interfaith, and intercultural efforts, and expanding human rights education are important first steps in combating incidents of intolerance, discrimination, and violence against individuals on the basis of religion or beliefs. By proclaiming an international day commemorating the victims of acts of violence based on religion or belief, the General Assembly recalled the states have primary responsibility to promote and protect human rights, including the human rights of persons belonging to religious minorities, including their right to exercise their religion or belief freely across the world. So, World Interfaith Harmony Week was proclaimed by General Assembly in 2010 October, 20th October, recognizing the imperative need for dialogue among different faiths and religions to enhance mutual understanding, harmony, and cooperation among the people. The General Assembly encourages all states to spread the message of interfaith harmony and goodwill in world's churches, mosques, synagogues, temples, and other places of worship during that week on a voluntary basis and according to their own religious traditions or convictions. So with this, we shall conclude here, and let's hope that the entire world is secular, not just a portion of area, and secularism should be prevailed across the country, not just limited. But even in India also, though we, we claim ourselves as a secular country, but very few people follow secularism in its true spirit. We often see people or even for that matter, some leaders also, political leaders, spitting venom on other religions. So this kind of pseudo secularism, should be uh, very much curtailed, with an iron fist or an iron leg, so that the peace is not, deterred by such untoward incidents or through such vested people. To maintain peace and harmony and mutual relationships among the religions, this secularism need to be followed in its true spirit, and this pseudo secularism should be go away, and all the religions and all the belief systems should be treated equally, irrespective of any religion or any caste or any belief system. But in true spirit, I mean, we can see across the world that this is not happening, because the majority of the nations, we see when we see the statistics of world population, or the majorities who are in the religions are not so much tolerating or so much secular towards the other religions. This is also causing lot of violence, abuse towards the minorities. you know Minorities here in the sense, which are not majorities across the world. This is not just related to our country or any other country. So in some countries, minorities also become majority because of their concentrated population. In some countries, uh, the majority will become minority, minority may become majority. But this is an international context. When we look internationally, the majorities are, you know uh, have to take it forward because they are large number of people, and they need to have a more tolerance towards a small portion of people or some small community of people. you know that itself conveys a true spirit of peace and harmony. Otherwise, this intolerance or this violence or abuse on the small portion of communities will always leave a mark on them, that they are not at all tolerant, or that leaves them a very bad image on their part. So it should not be like only preaching, but it should also be like practicing what they preach. So that the violence and abuse of such, and victims of such, you know, abuse and violence of based on the religion and or belief systems can be reduced over coming days or months or years. So with this, we shall conclude this topic here today, and we can have this interfaith dialogue, especially, and without even disturbing other religious practices, and without lot of these forcible or abuse, or these conversions or whatever, without disturbing them, we can all live peacefully together. Maybe such an interfaith dialogue organizations are also working. Maybe some other time, if possible, I will try to discuss about those organizations which are working on interfaith dialogue and keeping all together on common grounds. So today, so we shall end the commemoration for this day. So this is, through this only we can achieve sustainable development, you know, so that all communities have equal access to all the resources and all the opportunities, irrespective of whether they are in majority or minority across the globe. And we will next commemorate today the National Folklore Day. You know, folklore arts, or folk arts for that matter, are the arts or the dances or the music, indigenous people have as part of their tradition and lineage. This was basically, when we look, there are various, we'll first look at how and where it started, you know. Uh, as per this Western references, Brazil Folklore Day is celebrated on August 22nd. Just a Yeah. So these annual celebrations of Brazil's rich heritage and folk tradition is celebrated as Dia do Folklore, which means, the folk traditions celebration holiday to celebrate country's folk traditions with dances and stories. This serves as means to raise awareness about the folklore traditions of the country. Every country for that matter, India is very diverse, and as I always keep telling or keep pointing out, that we cannot compare India with any other nation, because no nation in the world has such a diversity. We are very rich in diversity with the different cultures, different belief systems, you know so it is very much difficult, to compare uh, our nation with any other nation, because in some nations uh, there is only two, white and black. And for example, in some nations there may be three or four ethnic groups. In some nations there are only 10 or 15 ethnic groups, but we have thousands and thousands of ethnic groups. You can see if there is some conflict. For example, in USA, suppose there is long lasting conflict between whites and blacks, for the power. In a similar way, in other countries also. Now, you can imagine when there are two people, two groups, and there is years and years of struggle between their conflicts. You can imagine, how difficult it is, or for that matter, how complex it is, to manage with so many thousands of ethnic groups in this country. That's why we have to be very sensitive to these aspects whenever we are comparing to other countries, no matter what, in all aspects. You cannot compare. I mean, though, because there are a lot of variations in terms of culture, in terms of economy, in terms of food habits, in terms of traditional cultural preferences. So that's why, though we compare, but still, in reality, in practically, we cannot compare India with any other nation because of this rich diversity and, of richness in complexities. That's why we all need to be very careful, especially when we are comparing. We have to always, we can only compare which are very similar together, you know and you cannot compare two things. You cannot compare, you know, and say like, for example, tomato or with some potato or something, and say both are same or both are unequal, because that is different, this is different. In similarly, of course, we can compare, because in terms of such an demographics or in terms of statistics, we can compare. But in practicality, there is a lot of difference. Even if you take religion also, for that matter, because we are having this religious context, there are a lot of and also we are talking about folklore, dance, culture, traditions, and practices. You know, where you can see most of the countries have only single religion or multiple religion within religions, because we have seen, we also talked about, there is no religion except Islamic and Christian countries. Like most of the countries are either Islamic or Muslim countries, and some are neutral like China. They don't believe in any religion, so they are neutral, they are like atheists. Similar countries are there who do not officially promote any religion, for that matter. So most of the nations are either Islamic or a Christian religion as official religion. It doesn't mean that there are no other religion people, but officially they have their own religion, and that is the religion government will actively promote and actively recognizes it as official religion. So, but in other countries, even for that matter, see, India is so secular. In its constitution itself, it is imbibed. Though India was a Hindu country, but to promote equality and equity among all, it is imbibed itself and added. Initially secular was not part of the Indian constitution when Indian constitution was written, but later they have added this socialist, secular, and all these terms to the constitution to make it, you know, a non-Hindu country. Basically, this word secular has come only because everyone knows, the entire world knows that India is a Hindu country. But to promote and give equal opportunities for all population, all ethnic groups, because of this rich diversity, no other country for that matter offers this kind of freedom today. At times, we can see the minorities are dominating the majorities also in certain issues, certain, because of the freedom that is granted, where you cannot, before majority, in any country, you cannot go and talk against them. But here, you can see even minority groups have a say, and sometimes they win over the majority also because of the tolerance, because of getting along together. This is the greatest quality of the nation, that is the spirit of secularism. Though anyone follows or not, majority follows the secularism. So that's why the word is also imbibed into this constitution through amendment, and thus, now India doesn't have any official religion and treats all religions as equal and same. So everyone has complete freedom to follow any religion or any belief system through virtue of birth or through practice or through interest. So this is a kind of freedom no other nation provides. And no nation is secular in its state, because already officially when they have religion, they cannot call themselves as a secular. So there are various differences. You can take any topic, any subject for that. I can also give detailed account of how they are similar and how they are dissimilar. But still we keep comparing nations in on different terms. So this is what, in a true reality, we cannot get the true statistics, because, those are different, these are different, and in reality, at the ground level, we see there are a lot of disparities. So these cannot be, very generalized. But as a comparative on certain factors, we can say, okay, but in its true spirit, we cannot make any comparison. So these are the complexities. So even in India, why we are talking about this is because based on culture, belief system, or for that matter also, there are a lot of folk traditions, dances, songs, some activities were taken up, and this has, across worldwide, like Africa, Asia, Europe, in all the continents, these are the indigenous people who have their own rituals, who get together for folk festivities to celebrate unique culture of their nation. If you see, uh, with the Western context, the term folklore was first coined on August 22, 1846, when William John Thoms combined the words folk and lore. He defined the word as traditional knowledge of a people. Because of this, countries worldwide choose to celebrate their folklore and folk traditions on August 22 every year. So the present Brazilian Folklore Day was established through a decree in 1965 by then military leader Humberto de Alencar Castelo Branco. The decree placed immense importance on the teachings of folklore to the country's culture. Thus, Folklore Day was established as a means to preserve the cultural traditions of the Latin American country and encourage Brazilian folklore as a subject of study. Folklore is considered a topic of great importance with the education sphere, especially in a child's early years of schooling. So, on this day, you know, uh, across the world, it is being celebrated as Folklore Day, especially though it started in Brazil. And even in India also, today in some parts of the nation, this day is also celebrated. So these include various folk arts, like we know folk arts, Burakada, Harikada, street plays, what this Tamasha, uh, and there are various art forms, even dance forms, Kuchipudi, Kathak, all these are all fall under this, you know, folk art. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration here. And today also marks never been better day. So this is about companion dogs, therapy dogs, which are used you know to treat uh, various illness, diseases, or treatments as a support, as a therapy dog. You know, uh, these therapy dogs. We recently had 1 week discussed about various therapy dogs, and we also discussed about these various dogs, most intelligent dogs. Hope you all remember. Uh, these are, the Labrador Retriever and Golden Retriever and German Shepherd. So these three dogs are very intelligent dogs and are widely used in various activities like, for security, for detection, for surveillance, for guarding, and also not only just for that in health, medical and healthcare uh, domains also. Like they are used as guide dogs, they are used as you know police dogs, and they are also used as hunting dogs. They are also used as therapy dogs, uh, or what do we call assistance dogs, and various other purposes. So today is an occasion, for specially dedicated to golden retriever as an assistance or therapy dog. dogs are naturals at living in the moment, and humans not so such. Let that never been better pack teach you how to live life unleashed in a new book coming in 2013. Woo woo, Michael and Bean. So these are the people who started this day commemorating, and there was a great show, on. Actually, this is a celebrity dog, Bean. Based on that name, this day was dedicated. So let's briefly look into how this day came up and how it is contributing to the promotion of this uh, cause. So never been better day uh, on August 22 gives us perfect opportunity to enjoy and spread some being wow with our canine companions and others by loving us unconditionally to being our listening ears and cuddle baby buddies. Our furry friends have always upheld their reputable position as man's best friend and are ever ready to be our lifelong companions. Registered therapy dogs like Bean, it is also a therapy dog, share their wow at hospitals, schools, reading programs, behavioral therapy group sessions, domestic violence and homeless shelters, long-term care and Alzheimer units, and anyone else who is in need of emotional facelift. So these dogs are used wherever there is a need for emotions, addressing emotions and empowering emotions, reciprocating emotions. These dogs do wonders there. So, if you look at the brief history, dogs have rapidly grown to be essential members of the household and community at large. We love them for their companionship, never ending love, and not to mention, they make the best cuddle buddies and look incredibly adorable while at it. So, alongside companionship, dogs are useful for so many other essential parts of human livelihood. Our canine friends can be trained as guard dogs, hunting dogs, police dogs, guide dogs for the blind, and even therapy dogs as well. However, today we are particularly emphasizing on one of the functional attributes of dog, that is their therapeutic quality. So Bean is a celebrity canine who is best known for his canine chatter and woo woo, and has made several appearances on shows, fundraisers, and even quoted in the Wall Street Journal. Bean grew up to the registered therapy dog in a loving golden retriever home and was named Never Sings. So never been better at birth. Since then, he has been spreading this wow at hospitals, rehab centers, long-term care facilities, and schools across the US since 2011. He is one of the casts of the infamous Facebook feed that is never been better, alongside with his canine and human brothers and sisters, where they constantly spread the bean wow worldwide. So Bean's cartoon character that has appeared throughout the Facebook page in the form of coloring pages shared with sick children and patients of memory care units was the muse for never been better toy dog. So this is a special day set aside to appreciate the renowned therapy dog and also the unconditional love to all our canine friends. So this is a perfect day to reciprocate and share our wow of our best canine canine animals. So basically, in short, this is a day to express our gratitude to the therapy dog. So with this, we shall conclude this topic for the day, and then we'll move on to today is also National Surgical Oncologist Day. This is the day dedicated to honor the achievements of surgical oncologists everywhere. Dr. Dwight Carlton D. Reese's birthday, that is today, is celebrated as National Surgical Oncologist Day. He is a world-renowned surgical oncologist with over 40 years of experience. So let's briefly look into that. So National Surgical Oncologist Day recognizes the accomplishments of every life-saving surgeon who specializes in abolishing cancer. So surgical oncologists help to both diagnose cancer and cure it through surgery. They may perform a needle biopsy to take a sample or perform surgery to remove all or parts of the cancerous tissue. At the same time, they work with a team of experts to provide you with the best possible care available. Surgical oncologists also strive to learn more and better understand the variety of cancers we face daily. As experts in their field, they continuously seek improvements in care for their patients. From cutting edge techniques to the latest in research and therapies, surgical oncologists push towards a cure every day. Their dedication and leadership in the field of oncology make a difference in the lives of cancer patients today and tomorrow. So show appreciation to your favorite or to all for that matter, all surgical oncologists and let express our gratitude and let them know what they made a difference in the care, preventing cancers and in diagnosis and treatment of cancers. And you can also share successful and compassionate surgical oncology stories on the social media. And in brief, look at Dr. Dwight Carlton DDC, you know, which honors August 22 as his birthday. He is a world renowned surgical oncologist with over 4 decades of experience in his field. He was born in August 22, the same day in 1947, and he is first trained surgical oncologist on Long Island, specializing in diseases of the breast. After growing up on Long Island, he attended Seton Hall University and received his doctorate from Georgetown University School of Medicine. Dr. DDC completed his residency at North Shore University Hospital. He earned his graduate surgical oncology fellowship degree from Roswell Park Cancer Institute in Buffalo, New York, America's first cancer institute and the first in United States to be accredited by the Society of Surgical Oncology. So having treated tens and thousands of patients over the years, Dr. D. Risi remained a leader in his field, introducing and popularizing cutting-edge surgical and diagnostic techniques, which have become standards of the care. He has been recognized and honored for his accomplishments by several organizations, including Seton Pal, sorry, Seton Hall Pre-Medical Honor Society, Alpha Epsilon Delta. The community knows Dr. D. Resi to be compassionate and hold late office hours. He attributes his success to his family, which includes his wife Donna and his 4 children, Darren, Drew, Tara, and Deirdre, his incredible office staff, and the love and support from his dedicated patients. So, though the efforts of his loyal supporters through Dr. D. Resi created a non-profit support group called Lean on Me Breast Cancer Networks Inc. Since May of 2000, over 70 volunteers have applied and helped guide and comfort several thousands newly diagnosed breast cancer patients. These volunteers provide a vital to the patient's journey from diagnosis and treatment of to wellness. Additionally, the organization plans several exciting and enjoyable fundraising events throughout the year. These events help patients realize the importance of living each day to its fullest. So with this, we shall conclude this topic today. And the last topic for commemoration is World Plant Milk Day. Today, you know, this plant milk is lactose free and best substitute for the dairy milk. And it is also good, sustainable, and helps to eliminate animal cruelty and reduce global warming. So, as today being celebrated at World Plant Milk Day, because whether you know it or not, plant milk is a good, sustainable alternative to dairy milk, and plant milk safely provides your body key nutrients and minerals, giving you the strength and endurance to live your life to the fullest. So, World Milk Plant Day also reminds us that drinking plant milk has other benefits too. You can help to eliminate animal cruelty and reduce global warming just by drinking a glass of milk. So, do your body and the world some good by raising a cold 40 glass of delicious plant milk in a toast or to your own health and health of our world. So plant-based milk is a lactose-free and the best substitute for cow milk or for that matter buffalo or any milk. So Plant Milk Day was created in 2017 by the co-founder of the Plant-Based News, Robbie Lockie. The day became a collaborative effort between PBN and ProVeg in 2018. The campaign encouraging millions of people around the world to make the switch from dairy milk to plant-based alternatives. So the biggest reason to consume plant-based milk is that it is lactose-free and making it ideal for those who are lactose intolerant. But that's not all. Plant-derived milk tastes great, is low in fat, and is ideal for vegans. Plant based milk is rich in nutrients and contains the daily required essential vitamins and minerals. The risk of cholesterol increasing is minimal, and the milk consistency isn't heavy on the digestive system either. So, almond milk, soy milk, cashew milk, rice milk, hemp milk, and flax milk are some of the most popular plant-based milk types. Plant-based milk types easily available at the most supermarkets these days. The production of plant-based milk is cruelty-free, which is another great reason to make a switch. Changes like this may seem minor with negligible results, but in the long run, as we already discussed, the production of plant milk based is cruelty free, which uh, and changes like this seem minor with negligible results, but in the long run, they will definitely help reduce our carbon footprint and help improve our health. And health experts, environmental activists, and some industry experts campaign and encourage people to learn about plant based milk and how they won't be missing out on taste or nutrition. So, plant based milk is offered as a healthy and safe alternative to cow milk and is used in everyday. Plant based milk is offered as a healthy and safe alternative to dairy milk and is used everyday recipes. Lactose intolerant people or health conscious Weight Watchers often incorporate plant based milk into their diet. Online discussions on health forums evaluate with the pros and cons of the types of milk and help to make a decision. So, with this, we shall conclude with small statistics with the sales of non-dairy alternatives in 2020. was around $2.95 billion, and 54% of increase is in the use of plant-based milk over last 5 years, and 23 countries that have integrated plant milk into their national nutrition guidelines as an alternative to cow's milk. The percentage of young children who do not meet the required daily dietary intake, the person of the percentage of you know 23 number of countries that have integrated plant milk into their national nutritional guidance as an alternative to cow's milk, and 65% the percentage of young children who do not meet the required daily dairy intake, and 34% of percentage of teenagers who do not meet the required daily intake, and 40% of the percentage of children allergic to cow's milk, and those who are allergic to soy milk. The number of calories in a single group, you know. Uh, so the percentage of drop in consumption of cow milk in last 20 years is 25%, and the dollars 4.5 billion, the estimated value of the plant was plant-based. So with this, we shall conclude this conversation, and thank you everyone for joining us. Uh, basically, uh, you know, in conclusion, research consistently shows that a whole food plant-based diet, including plant milk, is good for you. So such a diet can help prevent hypertension, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and certain kinds of cancer. You don't need cow's milk or, for that matter, buffalo's milk to be healthy. A dairy-free lifestyle has power to make you feel fan- fantastic. Now, in the long-term future, you may experience increased energy by less bloating, improved digestion, clearer skin, reduced asthma. A dairy-free lifestyle has the power to make you feel fantastic now and the long-term future. You may experience increased energy, less bloating, improved digestion, clearer skin, reduced asthma symptoms, less inflammation, and other lasting health benefits when you make the switch away and try the challenge. So animal culture is one of the leading drivers of climate change, producing more greenhouses than all of the world's transportation combined. Switching from dairy to plant-based milk is one of the easiest ways in which you can significantly reduce impact on the planet. And the dairy industry is a cause of immeasurable stress to cows due to the enormous volumes of milk production. Dairy cow who are intelligent, empathetic, and affectionate animals must endure uncomfortable and stressful conditions that do not meet their most basic needs. So with this, we shall conclude here. If there are any queries, we can take them. Otherwise, we can conclude. I will be sharing the feedback link in chat box. If you have any queries, you can put in chat box, or you can raise your hand or unmute yourself if you have any queries. Let me share the feedback form. The feedback link has been shared in the chat box. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before we leave the platform. See you all. Take care. Good night. Thank you once again, each and everyone, for joining, and see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same link at different topic. So before leaving, kindly fill up the feedback form before you leave this platform. So thank you once again. Before leaving, kindly fill up the feedback form, and see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same link with different topic.